Hello, welcome to our Moon Sleep Stories channel. My name is Mushroom. I am a storyteller, and it is an honor to be the voice you listen to as you go to sleep tonight. Okay, let's start the relaxation part. It will take a few minutes before we start tonight's sleep story. This is your space to let go, to rest. So take a slow breath and exhale gently. You may notice your shoulders dropping just a little, your jaw loosening, the space between your thoughts getting wider. You don't need to fix or chase anything right now. Everything outside this moment can wait. Soften your eyelids. Feel the weight of your body supported by the bed, and let yourself imagine a doorway in front of you. It's not a grand doorway, just a simple one, like the entrance to a secret place you've always known. Now, let's walk through the door together, into a story that will soothe your soul and lull you to sleep. You start by noticing the way your breath feels moving in and out of your body. It doesn't have to be deep or impressive or worthy of some yoga instructor's approval. It just has to be yours. A little inhale, a gentle exhale. That's it. The air moves in, the air moves out, and without even trying, your body is already doing the one thing it was designed to do. Breathing, keeping you alive, even while you drift towards sleep. Your shoulders sink down into the mattress. Maybe you didn't even notice they were climbing up toward your ears today, tensing with every little stress, every traffic light, every unread email. But here, now, they just fall. And isn't that nice? You don't have to hold them up anymore. Gravity's like, don't worry, fam, I got this. The muscles of your face slacken. Your jaw loosens. Yeah, no one's grading your resting face tonight. If anything, the less effort, the better. It's funny how your body waits until this exact CT moment, right before sleep, to remind you just how much tension you are carrying around. Like a friend who suddenly goes, by the way, you've been clenching your teeth all day, and you're like, cool, thanks for the late notice, but it's fine, because now you release it. Your breath has a rhythm, not forced, not measured, just steady. Inhale, pause, exhale. That's all. And with each round, you feel a little more weight leaving you. Maybe you picture that weight as sand sliding off your shoulders. Or maybe you're not visual at all, and it's just a feeling, like a sigh that starts in your chest and spreads outward. Either way, it works. You're sinking. The room around you is quiet. Maybe there's a faint hum from the night outside, a passing car, a creak in the walls, the soft sigh of the air conditioner. But each sound just folds into the background, like instruments in a lullaby you didn't know was being played just for you. Now, your imagination begins to fill in the spaces. That's what happens as you drift. The boundary between your thoughts and your dreams blurs. And the story begins here, in that blurry space. You picture yourself walking barefoot along a dimly lit path. The ground is soft, almost like moss under your feet. There's no rush. You're strolling, wandering, the way you do when you've got nowhere to be. Above you, the sky is dark velvet, sprinkled with stars that look almost too close, like someone hung them low just for you. One of them winks, or maybe that's just your eyelid drooping a little heavier. Either way, you smile. You pass under an archway, carved out of stone, but softened by time. It feels familiar, like an entrance you might have seen in an old European city. Prague, maybe, or Rome. Speaking of Rome, did you know historians still debate whether Julius Caesar's crossing of the Rubicon was actually the big, dramatic, point of no return moment people say it was? Some argue the legend grew larger than the act itself, which is kind of comforting if you think about it. Even history can exaggerate a little, like your brain replaying that embarrassing thing you said 3 years ago at a party. It's not really that deep. You chuckle softly to yourself at that thought. Yes, you're still wandering this mossy path, but your mind is allowed to drift sideways. That's part of the fun. You come to a quiet pond. Its surface is so smooth it's like glass. You crouch down, dipping your fingers into the cool water, and the ripples spread out in perfect circles. Somewhere in the back of your mind, you remember that in ancient Japan, people used to practice suikinkutsu, an underground water feature where drops of water would fall into a buried pot, creating the most delicate, bell-like sounds. It was designed purely for the beauty of listening. Imagine that, inventing a whole art form just to make water sound prettier. Humans have always had this impulse to soothe themselves. You too, right now, with this little ritual of story and sleep. You settle down by the edge of the pond. The ground cradles you, soft and warm, as though it's been waiting. Above, the stars wheel slowly, though you don't notice the movement. They've always been moving long before you and will continue long after. And yet, tonight, they are still enough for you. You remember how once, as a kid, you maybe lay on the grass and stared at the night sky, waiting for a shooting star. Or maybe you never did, but the idea still tickles you. This sense of looking up and waiting for a streak of magic across the dark. Some nights it happens, some nights it doesn't. Either way, it's not about the star, it's about the waiting, the stillness. And that's exactly what you're doing now, waiting for sleep. And the stillness itself is enough. Your body is heavier. Your arms have given up their tiny shifts. Your legs are sprawled in a position they chose for themselves, and you're not correcting them. Because why would you? They know better than you, right? Now, they're already halfway gone. And your mind, it's not empty, not silent, but softer. like someone turned down the volume. The day's worries, still there maybe, but muffled, like background chatter at a cafe you've already tuned out. What's left is the story, the pond, the stars, and you in between. You hear an owl, a low, soothing call somewhere in the distance. Owls have been symbols of wisdom for centuries. Thanks to Athena, the Greek goddess of wisdom, who had the owl as her companion. But here, in your little dream pond, the owl isn't lecturing. It's just reminding you the night is wide and you are safe inside it. You lean back, letting your body fully recline now. The moss feels like a memory foam mattress that someone enchanted. It supports every curve, every joint. You feel the exact point where your shoulder meets the earth, where your lower back sighs in relief, where your heels finally let go. Your breath matches the rhythm of the pond's ripples. In, out, in, out. E. Exhale carries you one step further from wakefulness. You think fleetingly about how Napoleon Bonaparte was famously said to sleep only 4 hours a night. Imagine that, ruling half of Europe on a nap schedule worse than a college student cramming for finals. Some historians still debate whether that was true or just propaganda, but either way, let's be honest, you're not Napoleon. Thank goodness. You don't need to march armies tomorrow. You just need to rest. That's your only conquest tonight. And you're doing it beautifully. You smile again, a little crooked, because the thought amuses you. Your great achievement tonight is falling asleep faster than a French emperor. Victory is yours. The pond glimmers once more. Maybe it's the moon reflected. Maybe it's your own eyelids fluttering. But it doesn't matter. The scene is fading, gently, like mist curling off water in the early morning. And so are you. Your breath is slower. The pauses between thoughts are longer. The story is curious, rhying you, but lightly, like a raft drifting downstream. You don't have to paddle. You don't even have to look ahead. The current knows where to take you. You are safe. You are soft. You are already halfway to sleep. And in this drifting calm, you stay. You're not gone completely yet. You're hovering in that soft, half-lit zone where your thoughts drift like little clouds across the sky of your mind. You know the feeling. It's that in-between place where you're not awake enough to worry, but not asleep enough to dream. That's where memory lives. Not the sharp, logical kind of memory, but the odd fragments. The, why did my brain just remember that random math test from 9th grade kind of memory. You let them float in. A picture of your old school hallway, the smell of pencil shavings, a cafeteria lunch tray with mystery meatloaf. You laugh a little at yourself. Yeah, that's the kind of random memory your brain chooses to replay when you're trying to drift off. It's okay. Instead of fighting it, you let it bob past, like a balloon on a breeze. No need to grab it, just let it go. And as you let those strange bits of memory drift past, something shifts. You're not in your room anymore, yo. You are wandering through a vast hall of memories, lined with little lanterns. Each lantern contains a fragment of your life. Some flicker with warm childhood moments, chasing bubbles, riding bikes, that first taste of ice cream on a too-hot day. Others are cooler, quieter, the long bus rides staring out the window, the quiet afternoons of waiting. You pause by one lantern, glowing faintly blue. Inside, you see yourself as a child, curled up with a blanket, listening to rain tapping against the window. You remember that sound, steady, endless, like the earth breathing. Funny how even back then, before you knew anything about meditation or self-care, you already knew how to find peace. Just listening, just existing. You take a breath, and the hall breathes with you. The lanterns sway, as though rocked by your exhale. Then, out of nowhere, your brain tosses in a history fact, because it likes to show off sometimes. You remember reading that during World War II, British citizens were encouraged to carry around little blackout curtains for their windows, so enemy planes couldn't spot their towns at night. Imagine that, an entire city agreeing to dim itself into near invisibility. Streets, homes, theaters, dark. A whole population cooperating in silence. Historians still debate whether the blackout actually prevented significant damage, but the symbolism sticks. The shared quiet, the collective breath. And here you are, echoing that same hush, dimming your own inner lights so you can rest. You smile again because the connection is oddly comforting. Humans have always been making rituals of silence, whether out of safety or peace or just sleep. As you continue down the hall of lanterns, you notice some are cracked, some a little dusty. These are the tougher memories, the mistakes, the awkward moments, the times you wished you could rewind. But instead of wincing, you notice how the cracks let the light spill out in surprising ways, like golden leaks. There's beauty even here. Ray, you chuckle softly. Thanks, brain, for throwing in the highlight reel of cringe. But then, you just keep walking. You don't linger. Those lanterns belong to the past. Tonight, they can stay right where they are. Your footsteps echo softly. But wait, it doesn't sound like an echo. It sounds like applause. Tiny, gentle applause. You glance around, amused. Is your brain clapping for you? Yes, congratulations. You survived Tuesday. 10 points to Gryffindor. You laugh quietly at the absurdity. Your brain has a sense of humor, apparently. You turn a corner in the hall, and suddenly you're outdoors again. The lanterns have turned into fireflies, flickering in the night. You follow them down a grassy slope, barefoot, the blades cool against your skin. Ahead, a river glows faintly like liquid moonlight. You step closer, and the fireflies scatter, leaving you with the sound of running water. It's slow, steady, endless. You sit down at the riverbank, and for a moment you remember something curious. In ancient Mesopotamia, people believed rivers weren't just physical, they were spiritual pathways dividing the realms of the living and the dead. The Euphrates, the Tigris, rivers as cosmic boundaries. You tilt your head, thinking, funny how even thousands of years ago, humans were sitting by rivers at night, imagining the mystery of what flowed beyond. And now here you are, doing the same in your own dreamlike way. You dip your toes into the glowing river. The water is cool but not cold. It swirls around your feet, carrying away whatever tension might still be clinging to you. You sigh in relief. It's as if the water is erasing the little anxieties, the mental to-do lists, even that one annoying song stuck in your head. The river is your reset button. You lean back on your hands, staring at the fireflies dancing above. One drifts close, and you notice it's not a firefly at all. It's a tiny lantern, the kind from the hall. You realize now, all your memories are here, scattered into the night, but none of them heavy. They're just sparks, floating, harmless. You don't have to carry them. Your breath deepens, your eyelids grow heavier. You feel the way your whole body sinks to the rhythm of the river. Inhale, exhale, like waves, like time itself. You remember a strange fact you once read. Salvador Dali, the surrealist painter, used to nap sitting upright in a chair with a key in his hand. Beneath his hand, he'd place a metal plate. The moment he drifted off, the key would drop, clanging against the plate, and he'd wake up. That way, he could catch the wild, dreamlike images from the edge of sleep and paint them. Brilliant, yes, but also, let's be real, kind of exhausting. You grin to yourself. Tonight, no keys, no clanging plates, just pure, uninterrupted sleep. Take that, Dolly. The river hums softly, as if agreeing. You lay down fully now, the grass cushioning you, the night sky stretching above. The fireflies swirl in lazy constellations, and you realize you don't need to hold on to any single memory. They are free to drift, and you're free to follow. Your body grows heavier, your mind lighter. The lanterns, the river, the fireflies, all of it begins to blur at the edges, like watercolor running into paper. The story doesn't end, it just softens. And so do you. You're floating now, floating through memory, floating through time, floating toward sleep. The river carries you now, not with any rush, not with any sense of urgency, just a steady, lulling movement like the world's longest exhale. You're on your back, drifting along the surface, and the water holds you with complete confidence. It doesn't ask you to paddle, doesn't ask you to steer. All you have to do is float. And honestly, after the day you've had, that's a pretty sweet deal. The air is cool against your face, the kind of cool that whispers, hey, you can finally stop sweating the small stuff. Overhead, The stars have shifted into long, glowing lines as though time itself is stretching into one gentle blur. That's exactly what's happening inside you. Time is bending, slowing, becoming irrelevant. You don't need to count the minutes anymore. You don't need to hold the clock in your mind. Sleep is timeless, and you're gliding straight into it. The sound of the river changes as you drift. Sometimes it's a low hum, like the earth. Sometimes it trickles with a musical lilt, like laughter overheard from far away. And sometimes it roars faintly, reminding you of waterfalls, though none are in sight. Your imagination supplies them anyway, because that's what imagination does when it's half tired, half dreaming. It paints in the gaps with soft, strange details. You close your eyes, and you're suddenly aware of your body's heaviness again. Your arms float at your sides. Your legs are stretched out, weightless but solid. Your chest rises and falls, so steady it's like you've merged with the river's current. Every inhale is a wave lifting you up. Every exhale is a wave lowering you down. A rocking motion without movement. And then your mind decides to play historian for a minute. Out of the blue, you remember that Cleopatra, the famous queen of Egypt, actually lived closer in time to the invention of the iPhone than to the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Wild, right? Historians still debate how much of her story was political spin versus fact, but either way, she was living proof that history is weirder than we think. The pyramids were ancient even to her, and here you are, thousands of years later, still marveling at time, still floating in your own river of it. The thought makes you grin. Your brain really does have impeccable timing, dropping random trivia like a party guest who won't leave but somehow makes you laugh anyway. A cool mist drifts over the water, brushing your skin. It smells faintly sweet, like wildflowers hidden in the night air. You breathe it in, slow and steady, and feel your chest expand gently. The mist settles on your eyelashes, cool and delicate, and you don't bother blinking it away. It's just another layer of softness. In the distance, you hear a bell, not sharp, not startling, more like the deep, mellow tone of a temple bell. It rings once, then fades into the air. You remember, suddenly, the great bronze bell of Kyoto, the one rung at midnight on New Year's Eve, 108 times to cleanse the human heart of its worldly desires. The ritual has been repeated for centuries. Imagine the patience, the steadiness of that practice. Year after year, same sound, same intention. You sigh softly because tonight you're doing the same thing in your own way. Every breath is its own little bell, every exhale a release. The river widens, its banks drift farther away until they vanish, and you feel as though you're floating not on water, but on the sky itself. Stars ripple beneath you, galaxies shimmer above. You're suspended in an endless in-between, safe in every direction. The weight of the day is gone. The weight of tomorrow hasn't arrived. Just now, only now. A fish leaps from the water beside you, silver, glowing faintly like it's made of moonlight. It arcs gracefully and disappears again with barely a splash. You chuckle softly. Leave it to your subconscious to add some magical fish to the mix. You wonder briefly if it's a koi, and your brain dutifully to aid. Uli provides another fun fact. In Japanese legend, koi that swam upstream and leapt waterfalls were said to transform into dragons. Talk about a glow-up. You murmur under your breath, respect, as though congratulating the fish. The river rocks you gently again. The glow of the fish fades into the distance. Your eyelids droop heavier. Then, almost imperceptibly, the current slows. You glance to your side and realize you've drifted toward a cluster of reeds. Their tops sway lazily in the night breeze. Fireflies dart among them, flickering like tiny stars that got bored of the sky and decided to hang out closer to Earth. You reach a hand out lazily, brushing the reeds, and the texture grounds you. It's real, it's simple, it's here. You feel your breathing deepen. Your chest rises slower now, your exhale even longer. Your body is sinking deeper into its own rhythm. And here's another odd thought that surfaces. Did you know Einstein used to say that when he had a tough problem, he'd lie down and let his mind drift between wake and sleep, because that was when solutions appeared? He wasn't wrong, warning. And that knowledge, simple, quiet, absolute, is enough. You drift, you drift, you drift. The river has carried you far, and now, without effort, you find yourself arriving in a place where the water slows, spreads, and merges into a quiet lake. The surface is like obsidian, a mirror reflecting the night sky so perfectly that you can't tell where the stars end and where the water begins. It feels infinite. It feels like you've stepped into the middle of the universe, cushioned on both sides by starlight. Your body is so heavy now, as if you're draped in layers of velvet, thick, soft, grounding. Each layer is the weight of a muscle letting go, a joint loosening, a thought dissolving. You don't resist it. Why would you? This is the best kind of heavy, the kind that promises rest. You lie back and let your gaze wander across the sky. Constellations you recognize appear. Orion, maybe, or the Big Dipper, and others you've never seen before, as though the stars are rearranging themselves just for you. A wink here, a twinkle there, and suddenly the sky feels playful, like a cosmic improv show. You smile lazily. The universe really is dramatic sometimes, showing off with all this sparkle, and you're the only audience it needs tonight. Shadows gather along the shoreline, but they're not frightening. They're gentle, like silhouettes of trees bowing their heads in sleep. Every shadow is softened by the silver wash of starlight. You realize that darkness isn't empty, it's full of quiet presence. The air is thicker here, as though the night itself is hugging you. You remember faintly that in the Middle Ages, people weren't actually afraid of the night, the way we often assume. Some towns had curfews, sure, but for many, night was simply another rhythm. Time to share stories, to rest, to watch the stars. Historians still debate whether our fear of the dark is more cultural than biological. Either way, you feel safe here. You smile at the idea that once upon a time, people found comfort in shadows the same way you do now. Time. Soft breeze ripples across the lake. The reflection of the stars trembles as though they're laughing quietly with you. Your skin tingles where the air touches it, cool, clean, almost like silk brushed lightly across your arm. You inhale, and the scent of the night deepens. Earth, water, a hint of pine. Pure. Somewhere above, a shooting star arcs slowly across the sky. Except it's not fast. It lingers, stretching its glow like a painter dragging a brush. You follow it with your eyes until it fades, and even then, the trail remains imprinted behind your eyelids. That's the thing about sleep, too. Even after moments pass, their light lingers inside you. You close your eyes just for a second. When you open them again, the stars have changed. They've formed a shape you didn't notice before, a spiral curling inward. And at its center, a single bright star pulses, steady as a heartbeat. You focus on it, and suddenly the world narrows. Everything else, the lake, the shadows, the breeze, falls away. All that remains is the pulse, slow, steady, like your breath. You let your eyelids drift shut again, but the star is still there, glowing behind them, a gentle reminder, a nightlight for your mind. Then, just as you're sinking deeper, your brain tosses in another odd historical detail, because apparently, even half asleep, it likes trivia. You recall that in 1816, the year without a summer, when a volcanic eruption blocked sunlight worldwide, people lived for months in dim, eerie twilight. Crops failed, temperatures dropped, and some thought it was the end of the world. But from that strange darkness, Mary Shelley wrote Frankenstein. Creativity born from shadow. You chuckle faintly. Maybe the dark isn't so scary after all. Sometimes it's even inspiring. You roll your head slightly to the side, nestling into the softness beneath you. Every little shift in your body brings more release. Your neck muscles relax, your shoulders sink, your back unwinds. You're practically melting. Now, like a candle left too close to warmth, the lake makes no sound, but somehow, in its silence, you hear everything. The faint hum of the stars, the whisper of the breeze, the gentle thrum of your own pulse. It's like a symphony where the instruments are absence and quiet. You smile at the absurdity of it. Silence is noisy if you really listen. Above you, the stars rearrange again. This time, they form not a spiral, but a ladder, stretching upward. You laugh softly, a ladder to nowhere, or maybe to dreams. You imagine climbing it one rung at a time, and with each step you grow lighter. Lighter than air, lighter than thought, until, poof, you're just starlight yourself, scattered across the sky. The idea makes you oddly giddy. You mumble, "Not bad," as though reviewing the night's entertainment lineup. You stretch your arms lazily once, then let them fall again. Even the act of stretching feels dreamlike, like you're moving underwater, slow, exaggerated, weightless. Then a whisper of history again. Did you know sailors once navigated entirely by starlight, crossing entire oceans, guided by constellations? Think about that, floating on vast waters, trusting pinpricks of light in the dark. And here you are, your own sailor, letting sleep's starlight guide you across the night. No map needed, just trust. The shadows deepen. The velvet layers grow thicker. You sink further, not afraid of the dark, but embraced by it. The stars continue their dance, reshaping, rearranging, flickering. But you don't need to watch anymore. You already know they'll be there when you wake. Your breath is longer now. The pauses stretch. Inhale, long. Exhale, longer. Your body is still. Your mind a soft blur. Thoughts come and go, but they don't land. They drift past, like those fireflies from before. You're no longer holding on. You're simply existing. And in the shadows, in the starlight, that's all you need. You are heavy. You are safe. You are sinking into sleep. The current nudges you forward until you're resting on the edge, half in water, half on land, as though the earth itself has reached out to cradle you. You exhale, long and slow. Everything in you loosens. Your chest feels lighter, your arms heavy, your legs sinking into stillness. You let yourself imagine the sand rising just enough to support you perfectly. No pressure, no strain, just the exact balance your body has been craving all day. The night air wraps around you. It smells faintly of salt now, as though the river has led you to the sea. You listen closer, and yes, the rhythm is different. Not the soft hum of a river, not the glassy silence of a lake, but the steady, endless breath of waves. In, out, in, out. The world world's largest lullaby. You tilt your head to one side, cheek pressed into the sand, and let that rhythm carry you. It matches your own breath so well that for a moment you can't tell if you're inhaling because the wave is rising, or if the wave is rising because you're inhaling. The two are one. You remember a curious fact. Ancient Greek sailors believed that dolphins guided ships safely to shore, appearing when storms calmed. Some even carved dolphins on their vessels for luck. Historians still debate whether it was superstition or just fondness for the animals, but either way, the image makes you grin. You imagine a dolphin lazily bobbing in the surf nearby, giving you a wink as if to say, "Welcome back, traveler, you made it." The shore grows quieter still. The waves don't stop, but their edges blur, like the sound is stretching farther and farther away. Each crash becomes a whisper, then a sigh, then almost nothing at all. Your hearing softens, the way it does when you're halfway asleep, when the world is still there but muffled, wrapped in cotton. You roll slightly onto your back, the sand cradling you, and stare up at the sky one more time. The stars are pale now, hazy. Maybe it's a thin veil of clouds drifting in. Maybe it's just your eyelids, heavy, falling halfway shut. Either way, the starlight is enough. It doesn't need to dazzle anymore. It just needs to glow faintly, like a nightlight left on for comfort. You sigh again, the kind of sigh that feels like the end of something, the end of effort, the end of holding on, the end of wakefulness. A fleeting thought passes through. Did you know the philosopher Seneca once said, "Every night we go to sleep, we rehearse death"? But not in a grim way. He meant that sleep teaches us how to surrender, how to let go of control. You chuckle faintly, because leave it to a stoic to make bedtime sound like philosophy class. Still, there's truth in it. You don't have to command this process. You don't have to order yourself into unconsciousness. You just let go, and it happens. You are so close now. The sand beneath you is warm. The air above you is cool. The rhythm of the waves is steady. Your breath is steady. Your heart is steady. You are returning to quiet shores, returning to yourself, returning to the deep, healing sleep that has been waiting patiently for you all this time. And with that thought, you sink fully, finally, into silence. You and now, my friend, we slow everything down. The story has done its work, and all that remains is softness. You are lying there, your body heavy, your mind quiet, and the night has wrapped itself around you like the gentlest blanket. There is no rush. Sleep isn't something you chase. It's something you allow. It has already come for you, step by step, wave by wave, Until now, you hardly notice the boundary between waking and dreaming. You are simply floating in between, safe and held. The day is behind you. Its weight has fallen away. The lists, the conversations, the little worries, they are all part of yesterday now. None of them can follow you here. Ahead of you is nothing but rest. Hours of rest, deep and uninterrupted, carrying you softly until the light of morning finds you again. If thoughts arrive, they are gentle ones, like feathers drifting. If sounds stir around you, they are distant, softened by the cocoon of sleep. Everything in his moment is designed for your peace. So breathe in and out. Let your breath lengthen, slow, dissolve. Let your body sink deeper into the bed. Feel the softness rising to meet you, holding you without question, without effort. And as you slip further, imagine yourself wrapped in starlight, resting on quiet shores, rocked by the oldest lullaby in the world, the rhythm of your own breath. Sleep is here, it is yours, and you are safe to surrender to it, fully, gently, beautifully. Good night.